Hello, this video will cover Bedman's main anti-airs. Starting from now, we will use the numpad notation to refer to directional inputs. If you don't know what that is, here is how it works. Look at this picture. You may recognize this. It's a numpad. 5 is in the middle and represents standing or idle. Each of the numbers surrounding 5 correlates to a direction. 8 is up, 6 is forward, 2 is down, and 4 is back. Numpad notation always assumes that the character is facing right. So an attack like Bedman 6p will always be called 6p even if Bedman is facing left. The true meaning of 6p is not right punch, but instead forward punch. This is the standard adopted notation for not just Guilty Gear but almost all anime fighters. Anime fighting gamers seem to love numbers, so you will have to suck it up and learn it. It's not too bad. You are smart, and you will learn. Part 1. Bedman 6p. Traditionally in Guilty Gear, most characters have 6Ps where their hurt box disappears from their head during the startup and active frames of the attack. This is why despite the way some 6Ps look, they can be air approaches. Bedman 6P is a little different in that it has a towering hitbox. The bed lifts Bedman out of the bed and launches him upwards. Its vertical hitbox is impressive, and it can hit characters nearly at the peak of their normal jump. Visually, this thing looks and hits like a traditional anti-air. Even the bed that recedes backwards can still hit opponents. If you do your 6p early and the opponent gets behind you, they are still in danger of being hit. However, it comes with a few big weaknesses. Bedman 6p is only head invulnerable during the startup of the move. Once the attack comes out, Bedman's entire extended body can be hit. This will result in a lot of cases where 6p trades with the opponent's attacks. It can also result in a lot of cases where it outright loses. 6p is most effective when done preemptively, such as a read. Because of its impressive hitbox, it can strike opponents sooner of their jump than nearly any other 6p of the game. Should 6p hit, your best option is to go into task C afterwards for a hard knockdown. If you may need time to react, you can also cancel into close slash and then go into task C. Part 2. Alternative anti-airs. 5p is a great option to stop approaches. 5p hits far horizontally and can interrupt a lot of low altitude approaches with little commitment. 5p does not do well against approaches that reach above its standing height. In altitudes where you can't easily cover with 5p, but still need a fast way to punish an air approach, you can go for an air throw. Air throws are great and can be done very quickly on reaction. It's recommended to get good at air throwing, especially since 6p is unreliable at times. Air throws are especially effective for opponents that hover above you. Close slash is also a workable anti-air and is as fast as 5p but hits higher and farther. It's a proximity normal in that it must be done close to the opponent, otherwise you'll get far slash, so it's usually as a last resort anti-air and should not be relied heavily upon. Part 3. Air to airs. Another way to anti-air is to strike an airborne opponent with an air move of your own, commonly known as air to airs. Jumping punch is a great normal that retracts Bedman's hurt box. He shrinks considerably in this move, and it can be rapid fired. You can mash it until you hit something, and then confirm, but remember that you could be anti-aired still, and that you may be beaten by air attacks that outranges yours. If you anticipate an approach, but 6p may seem like it has too much commitment or is unreliable, you can jump backwards and do jumping punch. If the opponent does not commit to an air approach like you predicted, then you can use your 8-way air dash to move yourself to safety. Jumping slash is his farthest reaching air normal horizontally, and is also great for sniping the opponent out of the air. But because it's considerably slower, you want to be a lot more deliberate and cautious when using it. An effective way to stop air approaches with jumping slash is to watch where your opponent already is, and then cover a region of the area where they may approach with jumping slash in combination with your 8-way air dash. This will lock out a region of the screen where your opponent will get hit if they try to approach with little commitment on your part. Conclusion. Anti-airs is a concept that is crucial in any fighting game, but tends to be vastly different in each one. Bedman 6p in Guilty Gear Rev 2 is no longer omnipotent in that it can be relied upon to be everything, so Bedman players need to adapt and be more confident with air-to-airs and air throwing. Watch your opponent carefully, react to what they are doing, and try to anticipate what they will do. If you can get a proper idea of what they might attempt, you have plenty of low-risk options that can cut off their air approach. Bedman is a character that is effective at locking out parts of the screen while goading its opponents into reckless decisions. Play smart and play aware so that when the opponent makes a move, you're prepared to put them in the ass. Thank you. Next video will cover general pokes.